I mean, now we're actually live. A second, I said we were live and we're not, but now we are actually live on the YouTubes. On
And we're all fuzzy hatted it.
yeah, we are actually. You know what? I do need to refresh the Instagram. You want me to refresh the Instagram? Because you have to change that every day.
What
Why
are
not?
you refreshing it to? If
It's
I go on
stupid.
your Instagram, are you live right now? Isn't it
Yeah,
weird? Oh my god.
yeah. I need to update the
Are
stream
you
key.
live on Sean Gilder?
Yeah, I'm always live on Sean Gilder. Where's my Instagram?
Yeah, that's where.
You know what? And I keep saying I'm gonna do this, that I'm gonna quit everything and just be on Rumble and X. But
And then there you are flipping through Instagram on the toilet. Don't lie.
I know I try to relegate the Instagram to toilet only. It's where
I
it
do that
belongs.
for dating, although I don't date. Ah,
Yeah,
answering messages. I see how the crazy world that we have happening around us while on the toilet.
yeah. It's
Look what I got. I'm so excited. They feel so good. This came with my new bottle of Regenerate with party packs that I can fill up. They're so easy to do. You just open them and fill them up, and they feel so good. I love it. My Regenerate
yeah.
party packs. Don't look so excited.
Well, I'm excited for the party packs.
These are great. I'm going to bring them to the local cafe because I'm going to put together myself a little Regenerate party.
That is excellent.
That's what I'm going to do.
So
Are you adding your friend Joe?
I'm gonna add him in a minute. I'm just updating the Instagram stream key. Okay. So now we're on Instagram as well. We're on your YouTube, my YouTube,
And
Instagram.
Instagram.
We're on X. We're on X, which is the future of where I'm gonna be only, which is X and Rumble. But I have a
And your
technical.
ex for sure.
We're
You're
on
on
X
X
right.
too.
We're
Oh,
on X
that's
right.
so cool.
We're on. Okay, I'll tell you where we're at. So we're on
That's fancy.
your YouTube, my Facebook, my Instagram.
Yeah.
There's the screwed up Rumble, X,
And
and
you live. Look.
oh, and my YouTube. Both of our YouTubes, my Instagram, my Facebook, my X.
Cool.
You got an X yet? You getting on X?
I got X. I'm gonna
That's good.
quote and repost it.
Um, yeah, so we were talking about a few things when I was unloading bikes from my truck, which is the reason for my 10 minutes late. Um,
You're
Got a
fine.
few more great bikes from Music City E-Bikes
Oh,
rental program and ride program. A Frey Beast, which is known as by some as the Ferrari of e-bikes.
I looked
Uh,
those up. They look so badass. I so want to play. I want to play.
yeah, it goes just under 40 miles an hour on throttle alone, and then with some pedaling, you can get to about 45. People are saying. Then I got a Magician, which I just really love that little Magician. It's nothing
That's fun.
fancy, but great brakes, great suspension. So I guess it is fancy. Very lightweight, very wide bar, very comfortable, easy to ride bike.
I like them comfortable and easy to ride.
You know what? Me too. Me too. I like a little
Hey,
cushion. I like a
speaking
little
of,
cushion. I like a full
so
suspension.
for real. So
Yeah,
you have Music City e-bikes in
that's
Nashville.
right.
I
Yeah.
was just on a live today, no joke, talking about having a retreat
Hmm.
at your place so that we have how many people can you ride at one time? Like 25 or
So I
20?
generally keep it to 25, but I do have capability to do about 45.
Whoa.
Yeah. I just two reasons why I usually keep it lower. I just think 25. Um, I don't have to use a microphone
Right.
or a bullhorn or anything, and so that's more personal. Um, Plus, I really, one of the reasons why I do this is I'm trying to strengthen my voice just for whatever may come of it.
Speaking of,
What's that?
Look what I got. But first,
Oh yeah, that will help you strengthen your voice.
so I'm following all your advice. So first of all, you have the bike company in Nashville. I'm on a Zoom talking about doing retreats and like where we can all collect. I have one happening up in Pennsylvania. I was on with
A
people who
retreat.
are, yeah,
Okay.
and I had people that are nearer to you, and I had me an idea because you
Okay.
have your Airbnb right above the
Hmm.
bike company. So
That's
how
right.
about we take 2 or 3 days at your Airbnb because you've got that trailer too. So you could fit like you could pile in like 8 people.
If people were real comfortable with each other,
Yeah, yeah. It's
and
like
the
a
Airbnb sleeps because I have a twin with a trundle, so that's two. Then I have a convertible couch that's four, and then I have a queen size
good
bed
bed.
that's six, and then the trailer is rated to sleep five because it's the trailer is such a funky thing. It's got a bunk bed, it's got a couch, it's got a twin bed, and then it has a full size bed. Believe it or not.
I can't even
So
believe how that fits in it. That trailer's cool.
right. So the thing about the trailer is that I mean, obviously with five people in there, there's no room to move around. That's
Right, it would just be for bunking.
right.
Well,
It's just like so both of those numbers, five in the trailer, six in the Airbnb. That's like you're not hanging out in those
no, that's
rooms.
just bunking it. Yeah. Now
That's
we'll be on
sleep.
bikes all day. I want to ride with you, and then we do a nighttime ride and have it be like a
And
bike retreat. And people who understand that are going
right.
to want to lay down
Yeah,
after biking 40
yeah,
miles.
that's true. And then the other thing that I'm working on, but it's not done yet, but it may be done soon, sooner than later. I've got a king size bed, tiny home, on the property as well, in the
I've seen that place. I've
what
never
used
seen
to be a
inside it.
storage. Yeah, it used to be a
Fun.
storage shed, and it's got a loft with a king size bed. And that's all that's in there now. It's not finished, but I have a friend of mine who you're gonna love. He's moving here tomorrow, so he's staying with
You're
me.
going to love He's moving tomorrow.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Like since the pandemic, how many things have changed, and how many people I've had live with me since the pandemic. It's friends, you know.
Oh,
This
that's
guy's
funny.
my former neighbor. He used to live on my block with his twin brother. They're both singers. They're both really intuitive. They're farmers. They're organic farmers, regenerative farmers. They can build
Cool.
anything out of wood. So,
Cool.
and they've had a #1 hit as well, "Beer with Santa." I think that was 2, 3 years ago. #1 Christmas song, "Beer with Santa." So they're country music guys. They used to play on Broadway. Uh,
Nice.
the twin brothers, they're great. So he's moving here tomorrow. His brother's coming down in the near future as well. So, at any rate, so some of the projects will get. So that tiny place is going to be done for them.
That is cool.
Okay,
So, like a 2 or 3
that's
day bike retreat, can
that's
we do it?
13. That's
I'm just
13.
gonna put that in your head. I'm just putting that out in the ethers.
Yeah,
Probably like June-ish. I know you're super booked for rides in the summer, but I'm gonna
June or
find
July. June or July could work.
be fun, right? And have you ever done that? Have you ever had like a? I know you've had groups book, but have you ever had the group them pile in like that, like make it like a little retreat?
No retreats. I've had 50-person groups. I've had. I just booked a 24-person group.
Nice.
Almost 25, 24. And then, oh, the kids are coming back this year, which is pretty neat. Um, a group of a local middle school, a local private, what's the
Oh, that's cool.
private school, but I forget what they call it. Any rate, so they're coming back for the second year in a row. Uh, we do a Shelby Bottoms ride with the kids, which everybody rode great aside from one girl last year, but we all made it. She scared the hell out of us on the little bit of main roads we have to go on to get there. But
Oh God.
yeah, yeah, but it was great. So that's coming up soon.
That's fun. Okay, so you got the bikes. I met you from the bikes. That's how sort of we met
Mhm.
indirectly. That's a lie. We met online. That's a lie. And then you got me on Loot. Changed my life forever. Look what I have.
But let me ask you a question though. Loot or regenerate? Which one?
As far as saving my like changing my life, it's a tie because this gets me out of an asthma attack. I mean, I'm sorry, but I was in Minnesota just for a wedding and I didn't have this. And I now want this as a rule to always have in my car because I had like 3 asthma events while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'd had this, I would not have had that problem.
Hmm.
Whereas
Sorry,
this,
sorry I didn't get it out to you sooner. If we could fix the shipping, I'd love it.
no, what the regenerate stuff is different. It's like clear, calm. It's a different world. Like this changed my life with complex PTSD. So this took away complex PTSD. This takes away asthma.
Yeah, I think that having regenerate during the pandemic was enormous for me.
I bet.
It really was.
I bet. Having it when I need to fix a printer is great for me because I had to just deal in a tech call, no joke. And guess what I took before the tech call? I pour a little bit of regenerate in tart cherry juice and ginger beer.
Yeah, I need to get all of your recipes up on the
Oh, believe me,
website because
listen,
I
I
had a
have
guy ask me an email for some recipes, and I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna put some online soon." Because it's like bitters. It's not terribly bitter. It's not terribly bad tasting. It's not like you're excited to drink Regenerate, but it's not like awful. It's not. I don't know how to explain it. It's earthy though, so with a little bit of sweet that gives that yin and yang. I would
oh, it's
imagine
great.
it's really good.
I've tried all kinds of stuff. So I have somebody working on like using all my old stirring up trouble stuff, like all those pictures and stuff, and making like a little. I want my little recipe book that's like what I do, and then I'm
Hmm.
just gonna give it to you.
Oh,
So that's what
wonderful! Thank you.
I've been working on that because then it's like a little cross brand.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah, me
Plus,
neither.
I bought like really cool pictures and stuff. So because there's so much you can do with this, but really, to answer your question, which one? I mean, it's like breathing and
Mm.
being sane. I mean, I don't know. It's like they have to come. You know what I'm saying now to my friends? If you love me, send me a bottle of this and a bottle of this. Just
Mm.
make sure I always have that.
Mm.
And then I'm cool. And then also, I mean, speaking of being cool, if you drink more than a sip of this, dude, I mean,
Yeah, I,
it is
I
like
had
shroomy, trippy.
yeah, yeah, and I'm serious when I
Bye
say
bye.
you can always have more, but you can't have less. It's a serious statement with that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Um, now it's not like you're gonna get sick. It's not toxic,
no,
but
just like
um, yeah, but that's the way it is with cannabis cocktails. You know, some people 5 milligrams, is strong. Other people don't feel it unless they have 50.
you
So
need to.
it's
Hey Dale, you need to follow. You need to follow suit, Dale. I'm telling you. Hey Dale. Um, I just saw Dale's comment. I appreciate you both for sharing wisdom. Listen, I'm sharing as much as I can navigating this crazy life we're living. We're alive still. High
yeah,
five.
yeah,
High
we're live.
five. You're still alive.
Oh, we're still
We're
alive.
we're still
Yeah,
alive. Thank
yeah,
God. You're like,
yeah. Humans are hard to kill. We're very robust.
Jesus, thank you, Dale. And I have actually Sean is who I write about in my new book that I'm almost ready with. I changed the title, so
Oh yeah, you want
yeah.
to share? Or are you being
Holy hot mom lessons
okay?
for sexy sacred warriors.
Okay. Yeah,
How
yeah.
you doing, Sean? Dale wants to know.
Me,
Yeah,
I'm
how
doing
you doing?
great. I'm doing great. You know,
What are you fiddling with over
look,
there?
me.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my email because I'm gonna be adding Joe here in a little bit.
Okay.
Hopefully
Let's
Joe's
see.
watching. We're just gonna complete a
Joe.
couple things that we need to chat about.
Bring Joe in.
Bring Joe in.
Because
Uh,
then I'm going to have my kids staring at me pretty soon as I get off the freaking horn.
I got you. How much time do you have? Oh, so let's just go right into it then as quick as possible, um, because nutrient dense conversations are something that I like. I don't. There's no reason for both. So what else were we talking about before we jumped on this that we wanted to talk about? Breath training. Okay.
This thing.
Yeah.
Because you've changed my life on a healthy side. Dale's watching too, and Dale's witnessing. If you go look at my movie Eagle and the Albatross and The Last Stirring Up Trouble that I did when I first met him, I'm kind of fat. I mean, I don't want to body shame, but you could see my like, I'm puffy. I'm like puffier. And ever since I met you, my body looks better. I'm breathing better. My skin is better, and it's because look. You ready? You ready? What do you think I'm gonna have? What do you think it is gonna be?
Uh, oh yeah, raw dairy. Well, and the other thing too though is that your face looks much more radiant.
I feel more radiant, and
Yeah.
that's regenerate. That's loot. That's exercising differently. But also, I am no saint.
Yeah.
I'm not a saint. I was just with my family up at for this big redneck wedding, and I for real I ate chocolate gravy biscuits. I put them in my mouth
Yeah.
because my aunt Susie made them. And
Yeah.
and you know what? Now it's like cough about it later.
Right.
You
Well, yeah,
can
no,
cough
but
about
the
it
thing
later.
is, you just want to eat something that's actually worth it to make yourself feel bad. I mean, nobody's perfect.
I had an amazing awakening with my mother too, like watching her and like eat the whole dang pie, and then wonder why you shit the bed. You know, it's like pretty soon you're gonna have to say like, well, that's probably what you're eating. I'm
Might
just
have been the pie.
probably what you're eating. So you have helped me very much, and this is the next thing that you told me to do, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh god, oh god, oh god, here we go.
So you're basically what I uh, suggested to you is something that I want to do next that I haven't done next. But I don't have asthma like you have. If I had asthma, I would already be on what I just
I
suggested.
gotta do this. This is
Yeah,
what I gotta do.
right. So what it is it just makes it hard to breathe. So
Oh
you're
no, that's
strengthening your
not gonna be
diaphragm.
good.
Right, but
I'm
that's
not
the
gonna like
thing.
that.
No, you're not. Well, so it strengthens your diaphragm. So it's a diaphragm, and I've done a lot of stuff to strengthen my diaphragm, and I don't have asthma, but I think having a strong diaphragm is so important because that's what's squeezing all of the organs inside of your body, and that's kind of what refreshes them. That's what gets fresh lymphatic fluid in and out of your organs, is being able to fully inhale, fully exhale. So
So,
that'll strengthen your diaphragm.
so what does this do? What do you do? You gonna tell me?
Well, so like I said, I haven't bought it yet. I have a breath trainer that's a much more mild breath trainer than that. That one's more hardcore,
I
which
went hardcore.
right. So I'm from not have actually having used it yet. I believe those different end caps are how much resistance you want
Yep.
to add to it. So I would start off with an easy end cap, whatever is an easy one, and then it just puts extra strain on your diaphragm when you're inhaling, and I believe when you're exhaling as well.
Oh my god, you gotta move. Sit up straight with your shoulders low,
Mm.
and then exhale normally while bending forward at your diaphragm level. Oh
Yeah, so
Jesus.
that's to roll your back in, or I'm sorry, to roll your mid back so you can fully exhale. Yeah, it's just uh, those are best practices for sure for breathing all the way in, all the way out.
And what's the other little jammy that you breathe into that you test your something
Oh,
something?
what I use? Yes, I have a
What is this thing?
lumen, and what a lumen does is it tells you if you're burning carbs or fat for fuel. So
I mean,
yeah, so so that end would go in your mouth.
this end, but it doesn't tell you which way you do it. Like this way?
No, that goes on the sides.
Oh, it goes here. Oh, I see that.
Yeah.
I didn't take that class.
Would
Okay,
you
here
ride the
we
short bus?
go. So this goes on. This is a different show.
Yeah, that's OnlyFans. Stop that. That's that's private content.
That's paid content.
Yeah. You charge a lot of money for that. I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about that on on some of the platforms, so we better not.
Can't say that. Can't say those words.
Yeah, who knows? That's why X and Rumble is the future of Truth Thursdays.
Oh
Um,
god.
and I will have Rumble done by next Thursday, guaranteed, because I know exactly what I have to do. It's just a matter of time.
Now I understand.
Yes, so that's harder.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just picked that out of the bag. I was like,
Right.
oh, okay, wait, hold on.
So now,
I don't like that.
it'll be also, this will be like giving yourself an ab workout from the inside. So it should also help snatch your abs and
Snatch my abs.
have like better looking abs. It should help with that.
Ugh.
Not that you have a problem with your abs.
Yeah.
So can you feel it working the diaphragm? Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna buy one too. It's just I have so many gizmos I haven't. And the goal is just you only need to do a few minutes, like 5 minutes. That's it. And I think I would change. Don't you change both sides, or is it only one side?
That's what I was doing. It seems like you do both because otherwise you're sucking in from one side, right?
Right, exactly. I believe it's both sides.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
This is fun. It's like Legos.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to see if you like it because that's on my one of my next to-do lists. I also have a breath belt, which has been helpful as well. It makes it harder to breathe. So, and you can wear that when you're doing athletics. I wear it when I'm doing yoga just to make yoga harder because yoga is not hard anymore. I mean, it's hard, but it's not hard anymore. Yoga, I'm speaking of. Jeez.
I need to do some yoga. I promise this year. I'm calling it down. I'm going to start doing yoga with Jesus. Come on.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I don't know why people have so much apprehension over yoga. All right, I could think of a few reasons. But,
I can tell you why.
okay, why do people
yoga
have
instructors in their 30s? They're batshit crazy.
That is my.
I'm lying.
And in their 20s, that is also my experience.
Tell me I'm lying.
Well,
you're pretty crazy.
I've had some situations, yes.
What is up
But
with
the
that?
yoga studio I'm at now, everybody's great, but everybody
cool.
is older there because it's more of a technical yoga thing for people that
technical yoga. It's old people technical yoga. This
well,
is scary.
it's that'll get it done for sure. I'm gonna buy one like ASAP, and we can compare notes on it, get started on it together because that'll be fun.
You have to sit around and try to force ourselves to breathe better.
Well, the thing about breath though, it's the most important thing. I mean, a lot of people say that Yahweh is breath.
Yahweh.
Yeah, and then a lot of Yahwehs.
Yahwehs.
Call Yahweh God. Some people call him source.
I like me some God.
Everything. Any rate, that's how important the breath is. So, if I could change one thing about everybody that would help everybody in the world, and that would just be to be conscious of your breathing, constantly breathe in all the way and out all the way. It would be a life-changing thing for the whole world. So we talked about the breath. Then what was the other thing we were going to cover before bringing Joe in? Regenerate. Yeah.
I got my oh man, that was like.
It's hard, right?
Yep. Well, it's like it's making you conscious of your breathing. You know what makes me conscious of my breathing?
And it gives you resistance on the in and resistance on the out. So you're really having to pull those muscles hard. So the key is you want to find the size for you where you can where you can still go all the way in and all the way out.
You're like 8. This is like teeny itty bitty. Yeah. This is good.
But it's hard. so to speak. I mean, it's hard to breathe through that thing. Is the point?
It is. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Another one.
5 minutes, 10 minutes would be all the
Ooh,
exercise you need
I'm
per day.
out. Dale, stop. Hey, listen. Another one that helps me monitor slash pay attention to my breathing is Loot, because
Yeah.
the level the that Loot gives it also is like makes you really conscious of your breath.
hmm Yeah, it can help you go internal. Yeah, it can make you more aware of the inside of you, which is super important for awareness. Yeah.
This is wild because it feels like how I feel when I'm having the asthma where I can't breathe. It's like
See,
putting you in that space. You're
see
like,
why I recommended it,
oh
right?
God.
But that's the thing that you're going to strengthen to then finally get rid of the asthma, get rid
Mm.
of the inflammation that's in the lungs, strengthen the diaphragm so that you can get all that gook out. All right. So
That's it. Breathing. Do you have to
what
really get the gook out? That's a question. Do you have to get the gook out?
of the lungs?
Yeah. Or does it just
So I'm
what do you
not.
say?
There's many people out there that know more about breath and lungs than I do, but I know a little bit. I think that the key is to be able to breathe all the way in and all the way out. We have restrictions in our rib cage, our spine, our posture. Maybe for a lot of women especially, they have the strong forward pelvic tilt because they want to have that donk or so they purposely do that. And what that does when you push that pelvis forward like that, it closes off a lot of parts of your lungs. So if you never breathe into a part of your lungs, that's where you can have inflammation, or you're not using that part of your body. So yeah, I think it is important to breathe into every area. Your body wants to get bigger in every direction when you're breathing, front to back, side to side, up to down. Right. Exactly. Everybody likes that.
Woo, okay.
Yeah.
Woo. So what's the latest on the world? How you feeling about everything? What's happening? Have you seen you want to hear something
So,
crazy? Let's just
so
talk about what you can't talk about.
yeah, yeah. What's the latest in the world? The most interesting thing that about the world that I've heard of recently was that the New York Times has finally admitted that the CIA has been in the Ukraine since 2014,
Hmm.
and that I didn't read the article. I heard somebody surmise it on a YouTube video, and we've been in there since 2014, and covertly, fighting against Russia since 2014. So, ergo, it should not be surprising that there's a war in Ukraine over this. If somebody were doing that to Mexico with us, we wouldn't like that either. So that's a big narrative shift for the narrative projector of the American
Bullshit that they
oligarchs.
tell us.
The American oligarchs, yeah. So something has changed in the American oligarchy that is now made them tell the New York Times to report on that.
Because
Because
otherwise they're being silent. Kind of like the chemtrails. They're admitting to the chemtrails now.
I mean, in the
I'm like,
70s,
wow, everything's coming out.
people admitted that in the 70s.
I know, but people
And
don't
so then
believe it.
anytime you say chemtrails are real to someone, they're like, that's just
No,
kind
they're
of
not.
thinking. Or that's been debunked. No, it's
No,
real. Now, is
it's real.
every chemtrail toxic? I'm not saying that. There's legitimate chemtrails too, but they are also spraying experimental things on us. That's a fact.
Silver
So
iodide or something.
yeah, there's a
We're like,
bunch, and then
oh,
and then a
great,
lot of the
thanks.
stuff that they're spraying to cloud seed also harms our silica levels in our body. It makes us lose silica. So that's why you need to consume diatomaceous earth which contains silica, so that we can detox properly. Because once you're out of silica, then it harms your body's ability to detox. I mean, humans are tough. If we have the right stuff, we can detox ourselves from everything that they're putting us through. Because that's how robust humans are. We're really tough creatures. Um,
Well,
so
I
that's
love
interesting
that
thing.
it's all coming out. It's kind of like, wow, it's really all coming out. And of course, I'm over here like repeating the things that I've been saying for 20 years. Like, and while you're at it, people, why don't you go look at family court? Why don't you go look at all those dirty judges?
Yeah.
Go look at.
And I was talking.
Go do that. Keep going.
We're gonna have an interesting conversation in the next few weeks with a friend of mine. I'm not gonna say his name because he might. I think he's gonna do it anonymously. He's gonna put on a mask and also use a voice changer.
Wow.
And he knows a lot of things about the realm of things that you speak on a lot.
Yeah. But
So about
stop
family courts and all.
hurting
Well,
kids.
not specifically family, but yeah, he knows a lot in that
Hurting kids.
era and that genre. So that'll be coming up in the next couple weeks. So since we're talking about world events, you want me to bring in Joe, or what's any world events that you've been like partying at?
I've been traveling
wedding?
across the country, and
Yeah.
I did see like it's pretty wild with all the immigration stuff, or hardly immigration with the invasion.
It's called the Great Replacement.
Is pretty wild. Like actually,
They're poisoning us with things that go into the arms, and then they're bringing in replacement population.
Is that what? Because you're like, what are you doing? Well, this one friend of mine who has runs apartments for low income housing, like kind of outside of Tennessee. Had got a call from the state saying they are shipping busloads of these dudes, military age dudes, down from Chicago because Chicago is all pissed off. So unload, take all your houses. What's that?
To Tennessee.
Yep. And
Tennessee.
I can Marion. Oh no, that's not Tennessee. Marion, Indiana.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Right above, or is it Kentucky? It's Kentucky. It's like right there on the border.
Yeah, it's Kentucky, then Indiana, north.
So yeah, it's like so. That's where she's running the apartments, and they said, clear out your apartments and give them to the guys that are coming down. And she's like, I can't because I got 14 people on a wait list, and they've been on the wait list for these apartments for a year. And you know what they said? Forget them. Take them off the wait list. Put in the immigrants. Wow.
I've seen a bunch of videos of irritated Chicagoans talking. Yeah, it's
just, and then they're getting $10,000. Like, wait, what? On their debit cards?
Yeah.
Like, where's that money coming from? Where's the intention behind that? It's like a little. It's suspicious. And thank you, Dale. Like this is a coyote.
And then the fact that they're actually announcing that, it's almost. I mean, to me, it seems like they're trying to start riots. And I think the most important thing is that no one does that, because I'm sending the link to Joe. Hopefully he's gonna see that, because this is stuff that he knows about and talks about and researches a lot on. So
it's just all so suspicious, and it's so blatantly like you're trying to hurt this country, right? I mean that is.
Right. Well, right. I mean, that's the only reason to weaken our currency globally too, is because the people that are in control of this country want to harm this country, and they're being paid to harm this country. And then, one of the things is, if you have a staffer that's making $50,000 a year, I forget which podcast I heard this on, and you want to get influence over a congressman, you can bribe the staffer. If you.
That is disgusting, Dad. So it's messed up.
Yeah.
And when you do deep dive and you just do a little system analysis, you run into some creepy people.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then.
But I got to tell you, I travel a lot. I travel a lot, and I know the people. I don't know any strangers. Like I'm talking to everybody.
Right.
And Americans are a total family. All this whole battle of like blue versus red. When you're actually with the family, there's blue and red and all kinds of. Everybody's got something, and they're still sitting down to dinner. They're still family,
Mm.
and they are actually really waking up to the poison, and they're starting to prepare. They're hunting, they're putting meat away, they're gardening, and then hiding their gardens. I
I
mean,
was
that's the whole thing too. I was like, "You're doing what now?" And like they're gardening in forests, so they're setting up these like hidden gardens because they're already prepared for when they get found out for gardening. I was like,
yeah.
"Damn, damn, all
Yeah,
right."
the big one is the animals. They want to get rid of all the, you know, bison. I mean, that's how they got rid of the Indians, was getting rid of the buffalo. You know, it's the, you know, they're just so
This is chaos. What's going
cows,
on?
bison, deer, any ruminant is so efficient at generating food
Amazing,
with such a little cost to
amazing.
the environment. That's
I was I was just with a bunch of hunters. You know what the wedding was? The husband killed a deer, and the wedding food was venison stew
that's cool.
and homemade sourdough bread. It was excellent.
Yeah,
And then all my family are like hunters and conservationists. Like they do more for the environment than any sign holding PETA person ever did in their whole life.
yeah,
Like really, because it's like you're just given so much incorrect information. You
mm,
think like, oh, hunters, oh my god,
yeah.
and you don't realize you're like actually they are protecting the environment way more than you
Right.
are.
Well, right, and the other thing is I don't understand how people don't realize that it is the dookie of ruminants that becomes our soil.
It's
If you
true.
don't have ruminant dookie everywhere,
You need dookie.
you don't have fertile soil. So I mean, it needs to be a system. You need to have the ruminants. When you have the ruminants, they convert lands that are only suitable for grass into lands that are
Yeah.
suitable for crops. That's what ruminants do.
Hmm.
And so,
Heard of.
you know, if you want to, for 40, 80 years, maybe you can have, you know, them phosphorus and nitrogen, nitrates, what is it, phosphorus? Whatever the fertilizer, the big fertilizers are, you can fertilize land that hasn't been dookied on for so long, but eventually that soil is dead.
You need the dookie.
You need the dookie on the land. And then now there's places that are using the human feces.
Oh God.
How disgusting is that? That's disgusting. No,
And it's got all
have
the
ruminants.
meds in it. Yeah.
Right. Have ruminants that only want to eat grass. They'll eat grass all day if given the option to eat grass. They'll eat grass all day. So, you know, the land makes grass, ruminants eat the grass, dookie. Now the land can make something better than grass for us to eat. It's a system. So
No human poo poo.
I would prefer.
Dale says people don't put hunting and environmental correctness in the same category. Yeah, it's true. They don't. They're because they're dumb. They're uneducated. It's
Right.
fine. We don't beat them up. We invite them for
And
dinner.
they have more death on their hands than meat eaters because of the amount of small animals that have to be killed for commercial agriculture.
You better be
It's so
careful.
high. The
You
amount of
can.
rabbits, the amount of moles, the amount of deer, the amount of small animals that they eradicate to put in those big corporate farms is enormous.
True. Okay, Dale, you have to answer this, Sean. Dale says this is chaos. What's going on? I mean, it is chaos because we're in the chaos phase of a global.
Right, it's the chaos phase of a color revolution is what we're in right now. But I think, you know, I think that they wanted more chaos. I think they wanted more clashes between, you know, the BLM nonsense and, you know, non BLM people. I don't think they got the amount of chaos that they wanted during the pandemic and the BLM stuff. I think they wanted a lot more. Um, so I think just a lot of people are on
Waking
to
up to
what's
the
going on.
baloney.
Well, I mean, you just look at the experimental gene therapy uptake, right? Last I read, it was like 3%. I mean, only
Oh, still
true,
getting boosted.
right? Only true believers are still getting that because it's so clear. Like, everybody knows somebody who's not feeling good or
Oh, how
has.
about lost their hearing in their ear, get Parkinson's disease?
And then now they're, the other
Yeah,
thing is
Agent Orange. That's another one.
now they're slow walking out all of the truth, because they can only buy the media for so long before they, can't. So we're in that stage now where the truth, all the stuff I was talking about in April of 2020, that is all now, you know, coming out in mass media. So it's really sad, but
My thing is, how do we save the people who got the jab that we love? And black seed oil, it's a blue and red issue. It's all about who controls the power. It's bullshit. Yeah.
no,
And
it's
it's
not
not
blue
even
and
blue
red.
and red. It's like
Blue and
beyond
red is
red.
blue and
That's
red is the
part of
biggest
the
scam.
problem.
Blue and red is just like black and white. They're trying to pit black people against white people against black people,
So stupid.
brown people against white and black people. They're trying to pit men against women. It's a divide and
I
conquer
know.
technique, and that's what blue and red is. It's a divide and conquer technique. We need to get beyond the paradigm of blue and red. You can be a red person or a blue person and still do what's best for your community, which does not include giving $60 billion to Ukraine. Like you can, definition of a conservative is just someone who takes longer to change their mind to move things forward. And if we didn't have people that took longer to change their mind to move things forward, we would move forward in wrong directions. It's yin and yang. We need the conservatives just as much as we need the liberals. But this blue and red team paradigm is old school, just like blacks against whites is old school.
Yeah, Dale says who's doing it? He's like, well, it's about 13 families.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's when you get down to the nuts
When you
and
actually
bolts of
start
it.
deep diving it, yeah, it's pretty much families that run shit.
Right. They just have an enormous amount of influence. So through all of the things, the big things that they control in subtle ways. You can set sail.
But I saw an article that some of it's just kind of crumbling. Even the royal family is kind of like sort of crumbling.
Yeah, we're in a period of where the world order is changing.
And
And
that's where they're scrambling. We will be world order. We will tell you to be like, and you have your bad life.
you will eat
And
the
eat bugs.
bugs and you will like it. You will live in a pod. You will not own anything. You will own nothing and be happy.
We
Okay.
love it.
Yeah, when nobody owns anything, and how easy is it to
Quit
go
watching media, number one. That
nihilistic?
100%, Dale. Quit
So
watching
easy to
media.
go nihilistic. But yet, the blue red clash, I just think needs to stop. It was like I said with Michael Ricks, the whole black white thing. I mean, we did this in the '60s, right? We had the big battles, and have you been anywhere where there's been a clash between black and white people? I haven't.
Orangeburg, South Carolina is pretty tough.
Yeah, there's an
As,
ongoing
as being a
battle.
white person, yeah.
To
Like
be
it,
a
it
white
was,
person is tough. You're saying,
mm.
yeah, yeah. And I'm sure there's some places too where it's tough to be a black person, but the majority of the problems are socioeconomic. It's
Yeah. And I
if
mean, and
once
also,
once you're lower middle class, once you're lower middle class, whites
we're,
and black people are
we're all the
getting along
same. We
just
got
fine.
black babies.
They're just trying to become more middle class than lower middle class.
Yeah, we got black
Ready
babies in
to
my family. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
they're ready to collaborate with each other
yeah,
to get those bags. I mean,
it's
it's
all family. And you know what it goes down to for me is that the church, so that there's when you bring them all to church, it's all different kinds of colors. And I don't mean that when I say like, I'm a Bible beater, like you have to go to church kind of thing. It's just I see in my travels there is a consistent thing with churches. That is where the diversity is. That's where the the MAGA hat is sitting next to the um lipstick wearing, blue haired
Where's
person. And
yeah.
it's like that's the camaraderie. Like they're I have personally seen that. And then you're just like,
So
I travel. So it's like, oh, it's true. You gotta
let,
say something for
let
truth.
me let me just speak really quick on the most important divide and conquer technique that they're doing now, and the one that needs to stop immediately that doesn't get enough attention, and that's men versus women.
Yeah.
Because that is the when you get women hating men and men hating women, or um, the MGTOW movement, which is men going their own way movement, essentially where men are saying that they are no longer interested in dating at all because
I've
they no
seen that.
longer want a woman
Because
anymore.
women are nuts.
Yeah, well, you said it. I mean, I don't think they're nuts. I think that they're poisoned, and I think
Mhm.
that women by nature are maybe slightly more susceptible to marketing than men, and they've had been marketed a really bad deal.
Truth.
You know, all the makeups contain toxins, all of the weight loss stuff contains toxins. It's from every direction.
Media,
Right,
meds.
if you can convince them of unrealistic beauty standards,
See,
or or
Dale's
or,
another one. Dale's
or
another one. He's like,
how hard, how difficult it is as a woman when you're being poisoned from 10 different directions to have that hard body physique that's been projected on for a very long time.
I'm
Just
not.
so many things. And then you have the "we don't need no man" movement, and it's
Oh
like,
yeah, the men are
it's like,
toxic.
okay, so
The
then you
men
got
are.
the MGTOW, men going their own way. You go, "we don't need no man" movement, and it's like, have you ever taken an Uber? Who built the car? Who built the road? Do you charge your Tesla? Who built the charging system? Who?
You're saying
It's
sex.
like, hello. Yes, you not only need who changed the tires for you, who changed your brakes, who built your house, who fixed your toilet. You know, let's have a little bit of respect for who makes the world go
Working
around.
men.
And then the men, let's have a little bit of respect who has a portal in between their legs. The women. That's where new life comes from. So let's have a little bit more respect for each other and not fall into the divide and conquer technique. The same stuff that they're using: black against white,
It's
brown
true.
against white, brown against black. Uh, it's the same thing for the same purpose. It's divide and conquer. They want us all at war with each other, so that when all the lower classes below the 1% are all at war with each other, then they get to rule the roost.
It's essentially Hunger Games.
Yeah.
We're like living it. So enough. Like we can complain about it all day long and talk about how crazy everybody is, but what do you actually do about it? You
Well,
get regenerated.
I
We need
think,
to get this in people's water. Just pour
yeah,
it out.
there's a few things that would be nice to put into the water supplies. I can think of a few things that would help out people in a
I'm
hurry.
just 0 for 4.
But,
Oh.
uh,
Dale says he could not agree more, Sean. I'm just 0 for 4. What does that mean?
0 for 4. That's a bad day if you're playing baseball.
Oh, got you. So he's like, he's down for the count with he's had his share of like the poison women.
Yeah, and I think it is important to say that they're poison because, you know, um, it is a poisoning. It really is a poisoning. I mean, how many women today are vegans and they bleed once a month? How are you going to be anemic if you don't get iron and copper in the proper amounts and you're bleeding once a month? You're going to
Yep.
be anemic, and then once you're anemic, anemia is the state of not being able to transport oxygen from your lungs to your body. So then if you're short on oxygen in your body, you're going to be in fight or flight, just like that. So it's just that simple.
That's how the women, mainly the women, are, and they're in their sympathetic nervous system,
Yeah, sympathetic
mad at the men
fight or flight. Right,
because they're swallowing the
right.
media. I mean, I know these
And
women.
then over time, that's animus. When you're an animus, that's Jungian psychology. And animus means that when you spend too much time in your sympathetic dominant state, you become the opposite of your nature. So if your nature is feminine, then your sympathetic dominant state nature is masculine. And it's the same thing with men. If men spend too much time in their sympathetic dominant or fight or flight, then they become more feminine. And I
Oh,
mean, you
so
tell
hold on.
me, are you seeing more feminine guys? I mean, I am.
Oh, you mean
Out in the wild, I'm
out in
saying.
the wild? Oh yeah, yeah. It's bad out there. It's bad. The emasculated men. It's bad.
You can hear it in their voice. It's like their voices haven't fully dropped.
And they want mommy. That's where I come in. And they want to be dominated and told what to do. And then there's a whole movement of the women who love that. They're
Right.
like, yeah, that
Well,
I want a simp. I want a beta dude. I'm just like, damn, you can
right, but
have them.
they want to use them up, not support them. They want to take whatever they can get from them and then cast them to the side and get another one. They don't want that long term. I mean, maybe some women do. Maybe some women want to latch onto one simp and then ride him. But the problem is that ends. That ends because the sympathetic dominant state person only has,
I cannot.
10, 20 years max, and then they're in a state of madness. Eckhart Tolle talks about it, and that's one of his big concerns. He started talking about it in the 90s, that we can't have people spending the majority of their lives in a sympathetic dominant state, a fight or flight state. It leads to
that has been the majority of my life.
Sure.
Truly. I mean, I came into the world 4 pounds full term with 50% chance of living. Look at me now. But I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot because you got me switching my brain on regenerate. But I'm like, really being in the parasympathetic nervous system has shown me how much time I spent in the sympathetic nervous system.
One of the biggest battles is just realizing what it feels like to be in each one. Once you learn that, then you just will choose to be in the one over the other.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, because we have phones now, we can never take a break. It used to be you were forced to have a break before a cell phone because you couldn't fill your time constantly with stimulation. And that's what has really put people into a full-time sympathetic dominant state.
Dale,
Joe is about to come in. He just joined, so we'll bring him in a minute. But anything else that we should talk about?
Dale wants to know, Sean, do you have a significant other?
I'm trying. It's
we need to start a dating site for him, Dale. I know exactly what you want. I can actually see her on my brain.
Yeah.
I'm out there shopping for you.
Wonderful. Yeah, I mean, it's
a baby maker. Long hair. Very like
long hair, yeah.
Like prairie girl, but like a badass who can also, who can also skin it and cook it up for you.
And that'd be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so just to put a bow on the poison women and stop falling into this divide and conquer technique. Have respect for both the women and the men. Know that, if you don't need no man, okay, well, what are you typing your text out on? Who made that? What are you driving? How are you getting, to and from where you're going? Who's working on the plane you fly on? And okay, there's women too. Yeah, okay. 1%, 2%, 5%? Certainly not 10%. I mean, in heavy machinery stuff, it's like, it's so male dominated that fine, there's some women doing it, but it's without the men, it doesn't happen.
I love working men. Yeah. I'm the one who calls out to them as I pass construction. Hey, y'all, hey.
And I'm sure
good job, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna bring. So Joe just clicked down. I'm gonna bring in Joe, and then I'm assuming we'll talk about current events with Joe. But here comes in Joe. So Joe, we got Angela. We got.
Hey Joe.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing
Oh,
this.
that's a breath trainer, by the way, Joe. It improves the diaphragm muscle, which moves lymphatics. Which I don't know if you've done. Have you done anything with the Big Six yet?
Man, I've looked into it, read a little bit here and there, but I've been too busy to
Yeah.
really do anything with it yet. Kind of being a slacker, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know. It's so fast. It's just to to watch the video and to get down the Big Six. It's a little bit of a headache. I took a lot of time not doing it, and as soon as I've started doing it consistently, it's really made a difference. And I think you'll notice it because I know you were in a bad accident, and you have some lymphatic or some swelling stuff going on still, and that's lymphatics. So yeah. Um, Big Six is just collarbones. Massage and tap both collarbones. Massage and tap both um, sides of the neck, focusing on behind the ear where the jaw connects to the neck. And then both groins. Then the back of both knees. And then
Back
the
at what?
back of both knees. And then
You having a good time, Dale?
and then the stomach. Anyway, and it speeds the lymphatic.
These are all the lymph node things from what's his face, right?
Yeah, that's Perry Nicholson stuff.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted to do a few, oh, I forgot one actually. The outside edge of the pec shoulder area. That's before the groin. I forgot that one. And then you can also do the inside of the elbow. And then also, believe it or not, clapping helps.
Oh yeah, this stuff.
Yeah, clapping your hands or clapping your armpits or clapping the inside of your elbow. That's
Now,
what
for anybody paying any attention to this, if you'll do all of that, take a hit of this with some of this and get naked with your friend and then do all of that. You
okay.
are welcome. You send
Now we're talking about men and women getting together and getting.
We're talking about men and women getting together with the massage.
And I like the divide and conquer technique. Overcome that and lymphatic drain your mate. That's a great idea.
It's like instead of Netflix and chill, like, hey, come, liquefy my lymph nodes.
Lymphatics and chill.
I'll do your lymph nodes if you do my lymph nodes.
Gotta be such a line.
Right?
That works.
But in addition to it, like deer cleaning,
let's
add that to the list for me.
Y'all try it. My best pickup line I ever heard, he wins, is I'm jealous of your heart. Why? Because it's throbbing inside you and I'm not.
Oh,
oh, that's an epic.
I was like, you win.
Yeah.
You win. Anyway, so did you get it? Stop chasing pain. Perry Nicholson, lymph node.
Yeah.
Loot. Regenerate together is a hot ass time.
Yeah.
If I'd only videoed my hot ass time, I probably would be a millionaire.
And then I sent you those boots too, those Normatec 3. Those really.
I have to take a shot.
You don't have to do anything. You could just put them on and watch TV.
Oh, you didn't realize you had a crush on David Crockett. Isn't this great? If you saw how hot my cousins were, you'd just be like, Angela, you're hot, but your cousins, woo! Because they'll kill a deer, skin a deer, make a dress out of it. Hey, Joe, did you ever see Naked and Afraid?
Man, I've been naked and afraid.
Did you see that show though?
Yes, I have.
The very first episode, that's my cousin.
Nice.
She got the turtle and then she burned the place down. That's my cousin.
And then she was at the wedding with you this past week?
She's the one who got married.
Oh, wow.
And she's gorgeous. And her other gorgeous sister made all these for the bridesmaids, and I was one of the bridesmaids. This is my
the gorgeous sister single?
None of them are, no.
Of course.
I know.
I'll watch
the good ones get grabbed real quick.
Yeah, they get grabbed and knocked up, and yeah. But it was awesome. But yeah, there was so much fur and so many guns that I thought, like, oh my God, if any of my super liberal city friends saw this wedding, they might just like lay down and start crying.
You'll get disowned.
Like everybody's wearing fur, And then they and it was a 1920s style wedding. So the men were in like these really great suits with gun holsters. They were all fake toy guns, but they were all like, Bonnie and Clyde looking.
That
And
sounds like a party.
it was really fun. It was really,
That's
really
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
And
So
it goes like the misinformation that we're getting out there in the world.
yeah. Yeah, so we were talking about, I don't know how much, if you saw any of it earlier, Joe, but we were talking about what new information have you come across, week, 2 weeks, that has been surprising or gives you hope or whatever? What's the new news?
What
What's
gives
the
you
new news?
hope, Joe?
Man, I, what gives me hope is people like us having conversations, plain and simple.
Did you
Uh-oh.
hear the one
That
that I said that gave me hope, by the way?
no, what was that?
So that was that in the New York Times, there's a piece that came out talking about the color revolution in 2014 in the Ukraine and how the CIA has had boots on the ground for the last 10 years doing covert operations against Russia. So that was in the New York Times like in the past couple days. So that's a major narrative shift from the official narrative projector of the oligarch American, military industrial complex. So
That's hopeful.
that's a major shift that they're now admitting that, which that's a big admission. There was always we don't have biolabs in the Ukraine. We don't do anything. Zelensky, who plays the piano with his, Frank, he was elected normally. You know,
Oh God.
yeah,
Man, look, we
Look.
all know that the United States has been formulating governments for the last, 50, 60 years. We've gotten pretty good at it too.
yeah.
We're starting to produce those psyops here in the United States. We're starting to do that on our own citizenry.
Well,
And
and did back in the '70s too. They got busted for doing that. So it's not the first time they've done it against the citizens. They just really took the gloves off and have been doing it hardcore since um, Barry Sortoro was president. That's when the
oh yeah,
gloves came.
hey, you're not supposed to use that name. That's his
I mean,
government name. Not
his
supposed
new
to
name,
do
yeah,
that.
Barack Obama, since he came in.
Yeah, man, you're not supposed to do that. Now you're
I
being
forgot.
racist, Sean.
Barry
But
Sortoro, that's not. Hey, he's half honky.
you know, I like when you do call him Barry Soetoro, and everyone looks confused. Like, who is it? Is he Italian? No, he's not Italian. But I got it.
He's like Indonesian
Yeah.
and black or something. Yeah,
Yes,
because the Sortoros were like half Indonesian, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah,
But
he
Thomas
was
was giving me
and the
hope.
Sortoros were friends with the Bushes.
Oh, they're actually related, if I'm not mistaken. It's,
Maybe, yeah, I didn't hear that, but I know that they were friends and they worked with Bush Senior.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, if you go and Google that now, is Barack Obama and George Bush related? It will tell you they are like distant cousins. That's a
Hmm.
great sucker bet to put on anybody.
I'm, what else are you hopeful for, Joe? Dale's hopeful that my lungs are going to be better after the show.
Well, I'm kind of hopeful people start waking up to this nonsense because I just did a montage I put together. 641 times the Biden administration over the last 3 years have claimed that the border is secure. Did you guys know that today they've finally announced it's a crisis today?
Oh, yeah, that was another one that gave me hope too. Yeah, you're right. They
Yeah.
finally admitted that when more
Pour it
people have
in.
more people than 36 states, more people than exist in 36 states have crossed that they know of. Yeah, I'd say it's a crisis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine that. So
yeah,
that I'm
that's a good one.
hopeful somebody finally took his blinders off and he can see clearly, or somebody told him to say it. But whatever the case may be, they finally admitted that it's become a crisis. Um, and I bet tomorrow he's going to forget it's a crisis. But
He forgot what
I'm
he said right after he said it.
I'm pretty sure. But he got some chocolate chip ice cream, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
That's all that
that is
matters.
important.
So I'm hopeful that he finds another flavor because he tried some chocolate mint ice cream earlier, and I was so proud. I'm like, he's stepping out of his comfort zone. He got a
Yeah,
new ice cream flavor. He admitted that the border is a crisis. I mean, that's a positive step. In order
yeah.
to solve a problem, you have to finally admit that there's a problem.
Yeah, to
So
acknowledge it first.
we're,
Yeah.
we're going in the right direction.
And now today, Trump and Biden are both at the border.
Oh, yeah.
It was so he's declining so rapidly. It's sad. He was shuffling so badly in the video that I saw. Trump's shaking everybody's hand and looking them in the eye, and Biden's just shuffling listlessly next to a guy, just photographed or just videoed near the border. It was
Dale says that Trump is not his only hope. Our only hope is to put Trump back in there. And believe me, he's not my favorite choice, but he's the best we got.
Let me run for president. We'll fix this in about 2.6 seconds.
Yeah, what would you do, Joe? You're all
Oh,
fired.
I'd have too much fun. You guys ever watch the first 48? That's how this would go down. We'd have that real dramatic voice come in.
You talking about the Kiefer Sutherland thing?
No. Like, the first 48 on, the murder series.
Oh,
usually starts in Memphis, Tennessee, or Birmingham, Alabama, somewhere like that. Yeah, we're going to do the first 48. The first
You got
48
my vote,
hours,
Joe. Dale says he's voting for you.
We're,
So what
we're
would you
locking
do?
the border completely. Now, first, I mean, honestly, we have to secure the border. That's the first thing of any nation to be sovereign, is to have law and order and control.
I'm
And
thinking alligators.
moats, alligators, Sharknadoes. We can play with weather and create some Sharknadoes.
Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of that,
Alligators and crocodiles in the Rio Grande. I think we're now secure.
speaking of, I want to throw in what makes me happy is seeing the sky. They're being honest about the sky. This poison they're dropping. Just FYI, they're finally like that's coming out, and states are saying like no, not allowed in our state. Like 3 states have done it already,
2 of them, Texas and New Hampshire.
and Maine.
Oh, Maine too.
Didn't
Yeah, that's the
Maine
third one.
put a like a don't drop it on us? Then you're admitting that they're dropping it. Anyway, keep going. What are you doing as president, Joe? What's your first move?
Or positive things that are happening.
Honestly, man, secure the border first and foremost. Take back a lot of the regulation that shut down all of our natural gas and industry. Because for the first time in history I can recall, I told Sean this. I told Sean the other day. If you look at what Trump done, it almost runs parallel with what Bill Clinton did back in the mid '90s. Clinton cut down a lot of regulation, and when he get ready to sign into NAFTA into law, he looked at that a few times and said, he thought it would balance out between Mexico and some of the Mexican citizens would get better paying jobs and whatnot, but instead, you can't deal with a corrupt government. And Mexican's government has been corrupt for the past 40, 50 years easily. And those guys, all they did was keep the money, keep the wages low, and had an adverse effect. But that was a possibility we knew back then. But up front, NAFTA worked. Stocks went through the roof. Companies showed massive profits. And Bill Clinton's one of the first presidents in 100 years who actually operated at a surplus. Trump followed a lot of the guidelines that Clinton put together. If you go back and look through the dynamic of what he deregulated, what he authorized, and then what he reversed. And you tell some Republican friends of mine that what Trump did was almost identical to what Bill Clinton did, and they'll have a conniption. They'll lose their minds. But it's true. Bill Clinton was pretty hard on the border, pretty hard on regulating the inflow of immigrants coming into the United States. They were giving out more work vouchers and visas back then, as opposed to just straight up letting them come across. And now poor Joe's like, hey, bring everybody over. And it's a train wreck. It's created chaos. It's driven crime through the roof. and it's just a ton of issues there. But I kind of, like I said, you go back and look between Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, their policies and their structures and how they restructured everything, they're quite similar.
And it's pretty clear cut that the less regulations you have, the more business gets done, and the more efficiently business gets done.
Well, it's like
Because
who's
it's
doing the
easy.
regulations too? You know, that I don't trust it.
Well,
You think-
and our regulatory bodies, I mean, the CDC, the NIH,
Yeah,
How
you
many,
know,
how many of those organizations do you trust anymore?
yeah, none of them.
no,
Especially
FDA.
after this COVID stuff, man.
That's a joke.
that's the thing, because once you set up the agencies, then unless you're paying the people that are in the agencies huge money, which they're not, they're able to be bought. So this is why they want inflation to be so high, because then everybody's struggling, so everybody's buyable. And that's what's happening.
So Dale says that Trump and Clinton's wives are really different, though.
What about the girlfriends? The girlfriends are kind of similar.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
Anything else positive that you've seen or heard of?
Hey, I'm positive.
Well, I was talking about just goings on in the world, but yes, you are positive. No, because admitting that the border's a problem is great. Admitting that they did the color revolution and that they've been, you know, at war, a covert war with Russia since 2014. How dumb does that sound? You know,
It's been nice to see some of my friends who are so brainwashed with media begin to crumble. They
yeah,
do cry, you know, they cry about it, and that they, you know, you have to sit in shock and depression for a while when you start to really figure out that you've been lied to.
yeah,
But some of them really are opening their eyes, and they're like, "Oh, wait, what?"
and
Yeah.
grieve. People have to talk about that. They have to grieve that what they believed America was, it's not. Right?
Yeah.
Or hasn't.
Or
been
your
for a long
party,
time.
or your,
Grieving
you know, the
party.
ones that are like super Democrats. I'm like, Democrats are the KKK. Hello?
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, I'm Southern. I would never be a Democrat.
What?
I was a little kid. I saw all that stuff. I was like, I ain't playing with you.
You're not allowed to say that out loud these days.
Oops.
Which part?
Which part?
KKK was formed by the Democrats. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, we're not far from Pulaski, Tennessee. I mean, the real history is not
And
far
now
from
they're the
us here.
communists. Like it's not.
Well, we don't want to talk about the fact that the Republican Party was started by a black man.
And
I
also,
wasn't aware of
Republicans
that.
are who freed the slaves.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, they got commandeered by the Christian Coalition way back in the day.
See, that's the other downfall of our society is everyone wants to change roles and positions. And I've said this 100 times over. I've got some nieces and nephews that are just completely gender reverse roles. I've got a niece that's the biggest little gangster in the family. I've got a nephew, cutest kid in the world, but man, he is the biggest crybaby and sissy of the family. Bless his little heart. Oh, but don't worry, the cousin will take up for him. She'll beat up anybody that bullies him. It's good stuff. And if she gets her knuckles hurt, he'll be the first one to give her some band-aids and tell her it'll be okay.
Reversing roles.
Oh,
Look, everybody. Hey, it's
That-
wild out there. It's wild.
You know,
I've been like heart. Oh, go ahead, Sean. What are you
I
saying?
was going to say, Alex Jones says the atrazine. The atrazine is turning the frogs gay. You know, and so that's, you know, flipping gender roles.
Dr. Artis is great information too, by the way. That guy's
oh
awesome.
my gosh.
Yeah, I like him too.
Do you watch his stuff, Joe? Dr. Artis?
No, but I'm gonna have to.
It's good stuff. And I like how he just repeats himself. He's like, and mercury is in the vaccines.
Yeah.
And then mercury is in the vaccines. And I just wanted to let you know that mercury is in the vaccines. and he goes, and also mercury causes lymphoma. Like he lists all the stuff, and just so you know, that's also in your vaccines. So
And aluminum. And when you look at what aluminum does in the body,
you're
and
like,
the stupid thing about it is because they it's my understanding that they do
Aw.
believe in karma. The
Yeah.
people that are at the upper levels of the planned poisoning of men and women,
Pandemic.
and the pandemic with the planned poisoning. They say the limits of aluminum and other heavy metals that you can have, right? And then they say if you just go by what is supposed to be in the vaccines and you tally it up, it's so far over what you're supposed
Yeah.
what your max is that it's right there. If you just look at the amount of heavy metals that are in it, you would say, "Oh, I can't take 73 of these. I can
Right.
maybe choose 4,
Because
but I
I'm
can't
gonna
take
get
73 because that's the schedule now for children today is 73."
they can make sure
What?
they get sick later.
73. So before 86, it was like 7 when they indemnified vaccine companies from being able to be sued in 86. It's been a steady uptick and now it's 73. So if you're born today and you believe in doctors and you go to the doctor and listen to everything that the doctor says and it's a standard doctor that hasn't broke away from the mold, your kid will get 73 vaccines. And when you tally up how much heavy metals, just what's stated is supposed to be in each one of them, you are way over the amount of heavy metals that any kid can take. So it's there's your ADD, there's your autism, there's your mental deficiencies. It's all right there. It's
But
plain.
Sean, I have a friend that can show you some CNN articles that will debunk all that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That's been debunked.
Yeah.
That's not true.
It's
You know what's crazy is I've got an old buddy of mine, Sam Houston. Sam, bless his heart. This guy's 72 years old, about 6 foot, 185. Still about 9% or less body fat. And
wow.
Sam contests that he doesn't put anything in his body that he hasn't either grown, raised, or filtered himself.
Smart.
And I'm telling you, the guy's my hero. Sean, did I show you a picture of him the other day when we was up there?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen it.
I'll send you that. But the guy is 72 years old, looks like he's 25.
I
The guy
believe it
is
if he's
younger
doing
than his
all of
great
that.
grandkids. It's amazing. But he's one of those people that does just a lot of natural. He literally grows his own herbs, spices, and everything else. And he's completely
cool.
natural on everything.
Yeah.
Homesteader.
Everything.
Is he homesteading somewhere too?
No, not really. I'm waiting for that.
It's what?
He's waiting on that. Where are
Oh,
you,
okay.
Joe? Are you in Nashville?
I'm in a little place called Shelbyville. About an hour.
Okay, I know where it is. How do you know Sean? You ride bikes? Are we gonna ride bikes together? Come on.
He's got the hat.
I met him through a mutual friend of ours. It's ironic and funny. That guy is a character.
I talked to him today.
I want to set it up where we have like a little bike retreat where we all meet and we like a whole bunch of us pile into that Airbnb and ride bikes for like 3 days. Let's do it.
I just thought I had the dolphin too. That's another 3. So that's the tally's 14.
Amazing. I'm in. Like it'll be so fun. Let's do it. Like bike like all day long. I have to pick a day because then I'll start putting it up there. Like, you know.
Yeah, and then Joe, you're close, man. I don't know if I don't know how your left leg is doing, but next night's day, ride to the dam and back. It's about 3 hours there and back at a leisurely pace.
Cool.
It's a fun ride.
That is my favorite. I love biking. I could do it. I mean, I love it so much. I want one of your bikes, and I want 2 of them on the back of my camper, so I can make that drive from New York to Tennessee.
Yeah,
And then I got my bikes on the back.
yeah, lots
That's
of
not
great
wrong.
riding along that route too.
I found the Escape camper van. I had never heard of that before. I'm in love now. I want my
You
own.
have to send me a link.
I was like, oh, I need that in my life. Escape camper van with two e-bikes on the back. Done.
I'm probably gonna sell my dog. I haven't been using it, so
I need that thing.
yeah. With the horns,
I wish I could have it. Can I buy it from you? Could you imagine? Could you see me driving around that thing?
I could actually.
Yeah,
And then it attracts a lot of attention too, and
it
how you
does.
love to talk to everybody along the way. Everyone's just like a come talk to me vehicle. You know, it's 67,000 miles,
Can I?
Toyota powered.
I'm telling you, a driving loot lounge is what I want.
Yeah, me too. You know, I almost did that in
It's a good idea.
2020. In 2020 or 2021, I found these trailers
Mhm.
that unfold into like a bar, and it had a rooftop seating area, a left and right seating area, and then a walk up on the nose of it, and then all drink distribution inside. And I actually almost buy it. They're made in China. They're reasonably priced. Well, reasonably
Ish.
priced ish. Yeah.
I'm into that. I'm into driving. I want to get my CDL license. You don't need it for a camper van, but just putting
Right.
it out there, and then be able to drive me some loot.
Yeah. I
Could
mean,
you
it would be
imagine?
a great concept to bring the music festivals and, any
Oh, I'm
sort of.
going to Grassroots this
You
year.
can bring those to, man, a lot of these neighborhoods, these soccer moms. They
For
need
real.
a break. They can't get
Well,
away
we
from the
need to get
kids.
regenerate in people's water, like right now. Is this stuff? Have you tried this stuff yet, Joe?
No, actually, I need to. We've talked about that
Dude,
a couple of times too.
be
Yeah.
careful. You're gonna poo-poo yourself first time. You better be ready.
Oh
Some
Lord.
people, the first time they take it, dookie. Not dookie themselves. They just have a. They have a. Oh,
Do a
I
flip.
gotta. I'll be back. It's not that serious, but yeah, the first time you take niacin in a while, there is niacin in it that can make you
Aw,
go
thank
to the
you,
bathroom.
Dale. Dale
But
said that.
no, it really does cool you off, and
This stuff. I'm gonna
it's
let you
special.
talk about it. I gotta go jump and get my kiddo.
You're out? Okay. All
I
right,
gotta.
nice talking to you.
I know. I want
Hey,
to start
Sergeant
doing
Man.
yoga. Nice to meet you, Joe. I'm gonna start getting in yoga positions in here, and it'll be like clickbait.
Is that, you
And I'll
mean,
be like,
is that
"Look,
for the,
I'm
is that
trying
for
a
the,
new yoga position." What?
and then check out my OnlyFans for
Check
the, for
out
the,
my loot.
for the other yoga moves. Yeah, I'll send you a link to my favorite yoga book. That's the one you need.
I see your favorite
B-
OnlyFans.
no, BKS. I don't have
That's
a
where I
yoga.
thought that was going.
I thought
No,
so
no.
too.
I've never seen any OnlyFans.
That's funny.
I've never seen a single one.
You're not missing anything except for mine.
I don't think so. I don't like to be.
Don't do it.
I don't like to be visually aroused on a computer screen. No, thank you.
My main popularity on there are articles about sacred plant medicine.
Yeah, no,
Just doing God's work out there.
yeah, no. We've talked about what you're doing on there, and I haven't seen it, but
Please don't.
it sounds like a, you know, not your average OnlyFans, which
AngelaShelton.com. You can
yeah,
deep dive, try to figure that one out. Bye.
I'll see you, Angela.
That's great.
Nice seeing you, Joe.
Good to meet you, man.
I gotta see how I'll leave. I'm gonna go get my.
Yeah, you just click the leave, but
And thank you. I love these things.
yeah, we'll talk soon, and
I
then
love
I'll see you next Thursday for sure.
I think I'm in a class until midnight. I think I have to send some Michael. I know.
You and all these classes. We
I'm
were just
taking
gonna fit
so
till
many
Wednesday or
classes
Friday.
right now.
You sure
I'm
you need
determined. You know what? You know what it is? I'm determined to fully leave middlemen.
middlemen?
Yeah,
Leave.
because in the world of Hollywood, in the world of fashion, all this stuff, you're that I've been in for years, you are relying on these middlemen.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that before. Like, you just nowadays you can just build a website, do
Yeah,
a
exactly.
movie,
It's like
put it out there, self-publish whatever you
pretty
want.
much,
So
yeah. It's like
yeah,
you know, you gotta just learn things in the back end. I'm learning it. I'm learning it. Shit, girl.
okay.
All
All
right.
right. Well, let me know if you got a Wednesday or a Friday in you.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll bring in another guest, or Joe and I'll hold it down next Thursday
Yeah.
for Truth Thursday.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
2 weeks of like
Yeah.
some hardcore shit going on.
What's the class, or do you not want to
Oh
share?
God, it's basically it's like ordering medium. What are you doing, Chet Dale? It's like one of those empowerment 3 day. It's like 2 weeks. It's actually 4 months, but it's like these 2 week blocks of like 3 days intensive. It's we'll see. I'll let you know.
Oh,
I'm coming out a preacher. I'm going in with a vision. I want to be a preacher and I want to have a nationwide church tour. And I'm just
okay.
gonna make it happen.
Okay. Well, we'll make it happen.
Sexy church bar. That's
Okay.
that's where we're headed. I'll bring the bar. You have a town when you have a church and a bar. So I'm putting the
Right.
bar into a sexy church.
I know a lot of people that go for that.
I'm telling you, it's a
I've got
sexy church bar.
that would be your man. She'd be your first church member, and she would never leave.
The sexy church bar. They just don't know I'm serving them loot.
Another positive things.
See, that's,
Yeah.
you're a true patriot. Yeah. I love it. All right, bye, y'all.
All right.
See
I'll
ya.
see you, Angela.
Bye.
And then there was 2. Anything else, man? You got that's thing that you read or?
Man, actually, not too much, man. I've been kind of busy getting some things done, getting ready to prepare for what we talked about. I was going to do in 26.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm laying the groundworks on that, getting that squared away. I'm trying to put together a game plan for that, plan of action and attack going forward.
Hmm.
But more than anything, I'm just trying to focus on getting the legs back under control, get them squared away. You're talking about that bike ride for 3 hours there and back. Man, that would be pushing it for me right now.
They're electric, but yeah.
Even so, just being in that position for that long back and forth
Hmm. Yeah.
causes a little bit of discomfort issues here and there. And
Yeah.
that's probably the biggest downfall that I've been dealing with is how much that stuff swells and how much discomfort
Right.
that comes along from that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely interested in doing those 6, trying to cycle through that a few times to see how that works.
I would say that it takes about 20 times of doing it before you kind of like get it right, because the first like 20 times I did it, I'm like, this is stupid. Why am I rubbing my collarbone? And it's like, yeah, what, I don't even notice any difference, and you don't notice any difference immediately when you do it. It's kind of like when you do it regularly, it's kind of like eating well. You
Yeah,
know, if you eat well for like 2 straight weeks, then you're like, I feel better. But if you eat well and then every third day, you eat like a extra large pizza, you kind of feel the same. But when you do it consistently for a couple weeks, you'll be like, wow. Like for me, I have a lot of shoulder pain. So when I do it consistently, I'm like, okay, like shoulders feel good, or shoulders feel like they're getting better rather than stagnant or getting worse. Um, so, um, and then the boots, well, so anyway, to give it a fair shake, first 20 times you're going to think it's stupid. And then somewhere just around there, you'll be like, okay, something is changing. And now you could do it 5 times a day, you could do it 10 times a day, so you could blast through those 20 pretty quick, you know what I mean? Or you could do it once a day and have it take 20 days. But because it really only takes, I mean, if you do it at the same speed as I think the video is 3 minutes long, something like that. It's not very long. And it's that left collarbone. The left collarbone, 80% of your lymphatics flows through that left collarbone. So
and
that's
it's kind of like the same thing with like losing weight, right? Like I used to work out emphatically, get
right.
crazy. You
Yeah.
asked that, back in the day, I was a monster.
Yeah.
But at some point, you get tired of that, right? And like when
Yeah.
old Mr. Houston, the gentleman I was telling you about earlier, put me in retirement playing basketball, and that was the last real time I exercised. Was playing basketball. I used to play every day,
Yeah.
and he kind of put me into retirement, and I hung the shoes up, and I really haven't worked out for much since then.
Mm.
But last year I was talking to my buddy Arthur, and Country was like, "Hey, man, you get yourself squared away, have an opportunity for you." So walking into the to June last year, May 31st, I'd went from 87 pounds down to like 210, and it took
That's
me
good.
about 7.5, 8 months to do that. And the
Yeah.
majority of that weight loss was from diet, not exercise,
That's right.
and that consistency with eating clean, eating consistently, and then doing everything consistently was the biggest key factor into that. So that whenever I walked into that wreck, and I attribute a lot of the recovery time of how I processed and sped that recovery time up was through that diet and actually being in shape.
Yeah.
And instead of taking it 6 to 8 months for me to recover from those injuries, it took me, 10 weeks to be back on my feet running again.
Yeah,
And
that's crazy. You did a 5K too.
yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
I might be mentally thrown completely off, but um, I joke and say that since I've been back up and healed and moving around, I've
Yeah.
gained weight more in the last month and a half than I did the entire 3.5 months I was down with that injuries. Because even after I was up walking again and running, it would get to the point that it would swell so bad and hurt so much, even after the fact, that I had to take a couple days where I just have to, sit down and take it easy for a couple days, and then go back at normal life for a few days. And it was kind of blotchy here and there. Like some days I'd feel good, some days I'd feel bad. But to
Right.
the point where I could get up and move around consistently every day, it took
Hmm.
about another month after that. And once I got to that point, I ended up gaining like 22, 23 pounds back in the last, 2 months, 3 months after that. And I've been like trying to get back at eating cleaner again because it's so easy, man. If you're out on the road, to just stop in and grab something real quick, hit
Yeah.
Taco Bell, or hit a Mexican joint somewhere, some real quick. Cause I'm a taco fiend. They're
Yeah.
terrible, but they're so good. But
Yeah.
just in all honesty, instead of being able to do that, having the discipline
Hmm.
to bypass that and just go home and hey, look, I know I've got some cured bison at home. I'm gonna chop up and call it a day. Is a big difference.
You know what Angela did? Angela's on the road a lot too, and I think you drive a lot, in motion a lot, like Angela. So what she did was, and I may have helped her out with suggesting this to her. She carries a grill with her and a cooler with meat and raw dairy in it. So she'll stop at a rest stop, pull out her grill, and then just cook up a steak or a burgers. She just keeps it in a cooler. So it's even when she's on the road, she doesn't stop at any. She stops to get gas, of course, but she doesn't. She's satisfied because she's eating, pound of burgers or half pound of burgers, whatever it is. Um, and then even if you throw them in the cooler, you have two burgers, you eat two, throw two in the cooler, drive a little bit more, and then you got it, or the next stop. So I know that's what she does. I know I don't know how much you're on the road, but
Man,
I know that.
I'm fixing to be on the road like a madman. Like I'm getting ready to go. I've got to go back down to Houston, look at some properties, look at a couple of locations, and then I'm gonna probably end up in Arizona. And then, like I said, I'm going out to Vegas here probably next week and look at a couple of houses out there with Josh. And by the way, is Evan still around?
Evans left Tuesday. He left Tuesday, so he's back in Vegas.
So when I head to Vegas, I'll probably hit Evans up and
Yeah.
crash with him for a couple of days while I look for something out there.
Hmm.
But if I can get everything set and squared away, it'll probably take me a month or two to get everything foundationally based, get everything up and running. It might take a couple months after that.
Mm.
But once I get everything set in place, guys do the job correctly, I shouldn't have to intervene with them whatsoever. Um, and
Yeah,
hopefully I get that squared away in the next couple of months, 90 days or so. And
and
that gives me time to get back here and start my projects I've got going here.
yeah,
And yeah, that's why I say I've got to, man, you got to stay on top of that eating clean, trying to get healthy, especially when you've got these kind of injuries that you have to deal with.
yeah, and you know, for rapid weight gain, that points to a lymphatic blockage. And
Hmm.
you had your hip was so twisted up in that accident. Twisted up is an understatement.
Man, it wasn't just the hip. It was the whole my
Sacred.
complete thigh getting tore apart from the knee and separated and going up and like to the rib cage. I mean that one hurt.
Yeah, yeah, the whole left leg, right? Like went
Right
up into your ribs.
right leg, but
Oh, right leg. Okay, right leg went up into the ribs.
yeah,
So just so well, I don't know if you want me to say it, but you were in a car accident, that,
yes.
and then the leg was shoved up into the ribs. So it's amazing that 10 weeks later you did a 5K. It's like it's like some David Goggins stuff, you know.
Hey man, I tell you, um, look, when I was younger, I just remember what kind of savage I used to be when I was younger, and I just remember, that mentality I had going through a lot of things of that. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Mind over matter type mentality. And
Yeah,
Goggins is right. Shut that little crybaby voice in the back of your head up, ignore it, and keep pushing through. You can do anything.
yeah,
And it really goes back to that mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
hmm,
The obstacle is just another. It's just another obstacle. It's another
hmm,
day. Like I told Pat, I told you guys before. I looked at it as another day. Um, and what I had to focus on was my mental acuity and knowing what I needed to do during that process of recovery to help my body heal faster and help formulate, that part of it. So like even with you, I think I took some good cues from you on the collagens, the peptides. Man, hey, that worked a lot. I really
yeah.
feel like, hey man, that stuff. You'd be amazed how much of a difference that actually made.
That's cool because yeah, when you're trying to get bones and ligaments and that type of stuff back together, that's made of collagen. So you need to have sufficient collagen to make that stuff. So it's bone broth or bovine collagen, which
Mhm.
you get powder form. Either one, it really does. It's key, for tendon and bone, which you needed to heal.
And
So
and to the biggest part of those injuries, the recovery process of those injuries, to me, was more about having the muscles and ligaments reattached to the thigh. That whew, that the soft tissue damage hurt so bad because then going back through the therapy and the physical therapy afterwards, trying to get that stretch, getting all that mobility back. You
mhm,
know, um, like I find that if I don't do those exercises every day, like I should, if I go a couple days without doing them, I can tell dramatically the difference in the
yeah,
flexibility I have and the amount of pain and swelling I have. So it's a
yeah,
big difference.
yeah. And that's why I keep going back to yoga is because I'm on the bikes all the time. I'm always active. I've had a lot of injuries, so that's why I constantly go back to keep things working right. I mean, I take a couple weeks off, I'm still fine, or I'm still reasonably close to where I was, but then I start falling off. So it's like once you're injured, then you have forever. It seems that you have to take more care and feeding to your body. But then once you figure out what it needs, then you know what it needs, and then you can keep doing it to be more active than most people. You know, if you have that mind over matter thing too.
Oh,
Um, that the lymphat that big six man. Um, I know I told you about it just to rehash one more time. Because it's a lymphatic system problem, and you're saying that your energy is up, your energy is down, and it takes multiple days to recover. That is 100% what happens when you have backed up lymphatics. It's essentially like your sewer where all the cells where you fire muscles, that waste product from those muscles firing goes into your lymphatics.
Mm.
And so then if you can't get it out of your leg, for example, then that's where the pain and that's where all that comes from. And a lot of the weight gain, where it can become permanent, is if the lymphatics can't get out, what the body will do is be like, okay, we got to do something with this stuff. And so it'll pack it into fat.
Mm.
So,
That makes sense too.
mhm.
But man, I'm telling you, that 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 first that first week or so in the hospital,
Yeah,
I just kept laughing. Like, how in the world did I really feel like I've always joked about, all the things I've done, been subjected my body to. Like, really, we're really going to tackle the truck now? We're going to add that one to the list. Now I
yeah,
know what it officially feels like to get hit by a truck.
yeah.
Good stuff.
And how deep you were, like, when did you come by the house? That was right when you got out of the hospital?
It was, I think, the first was in 30 days.
30 days, okay.
It was in the first 30 days, the first few weeks. I think it was a 4 week check. It was right at 30 days, so 4 weeks out. I went for that first checkup, and we stopped by then, and man, it sucked.
Yeah.
I joke, I joke about a lot of things, but man, I tell you, the reality of that situation of being in that whole situation where, like being in that wreck and having to deal with the not being able to work, and then being hit with the hospital bills on top of that, and all that extra stress, all that everything else. Man,
Hmm.
that was a tough little few weeks there when I
Yeah.
started realizing what was happening, what was going to go on, and when I started realizing the totality of what was fixing to happen. I
Hmm.
had to deal with that anger first, and then strategically, what am I going to do to address this, and how are we going to address it and go forward? And it
Yeah.
was like, on top of the physical uh, injury, the mental duress of having to deal with that as well.
Yeah.
Is that was the more challenging part for me, I think. And I told Pat, a few days ago, if it wasn't for that, that's kind of what made me really buckle down and say, okay, I know what I need to do. This isn't nothing I haven't done before. It's just another day. It's just another challenge. Let's go.
Hmm.
But that notification, like literally 2 weeks after the fact, is what really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And we talked about what I was going to do afterwards, but that
You
I
fun.
still think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say you funneled all the anger into um, a passion.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I always joke that there's two choices you can make in life. You can react emotionally or logically to everything,
Right.
and the difference is which way you react. And I just said, I know what I need to do.
Mm.
The conversations we had with those officers we talked to was a very eye opening experience, and I said, okay, bet, no problem. And it I use that as absolute fuel. You're right.
Mm.
I wake up every morning. I have me a good dose of anger,
Mm.
followed by a biscuit and a couple of boiled eggs, some turkey bacon, some avocado and toast. I said, all right, let's get this day going. Let's
Mm.
just sit around and figure out which way we can lift our leg.
Yeah, and anger is a really is a potent fuel. It is a potent fuel. Um, yeah, it's
But more so than anger, it's like I said, I started out motivated, and I had to remind myself the motivation isn't what I'm going to need. It's the discipline. The discipline is what I was going to need more so than the motivation or the anger, because
mm,
the anger is going to fade, the motivation is going to fade. But if I stay disciplined and I hold the course, I'm going to stay true on that line that I've set, and I'm going to nail it no matter what. And I've
yeah,
done it my entire life with just about everything I've ever tried or attempted. And so I get one track minded and I say, I'm going to do this. And I set my mind on that goal. I'll go do it. So same
Yeah.
thing, just log down on the discipline side and make sure I did the same thing every day repeatedly.
Yeah, that one track mind, I have that too. I don't always select the most beneficial thing to one track mind myself on over the years, but as you get older and wiser, then you know, you can focus that one track mind on what you really need to focus it on, which is cool. It's a superpower having that ability.
I mean, but it's that, it's having the discipline, stay
Mm,
focused on that one goal no matter what. Now, there
yeah,
may be other goals that come along the way that have to be, you know, put into place at the same time and still accomplished. But that one goal in the back of my mind is still there and it's not leaving. I will
yeah.
do what I said I was going to do. I promise you that.
2026.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I look forward to hearing about it, and you'll have to come on here and tell whatever you want to tell on it as you start to, you know,
but for the most part,
do those
keep it
things.
kind of short, simple, quiet for the most part. I've got a few guys I keep in the loop. You know, Pastor, one of them, and a few other guys here and there that putting things together and like putting all the pieces in order and getting ready to go at it. When I go at it, it's going to be full fledged.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool, man. I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. But I think we're coming up on almost 2 hours. Um, for real, man, I'm telling you, give that Big Six 20 times before you judge it, and put that into your discipline for as many times whenever you have a moment. I would do it every time I went to the bathroom. I would do it right when I woke up, right before I went to sleep, and yeah, just like that, above and below the collarbone.
I've been
And,
doing it the past couple weeks on accident. I'm thinking about it.
yeah, yeah, and then I'll end up just rubbing the left collarbone too because I know how beneficial it is. Now, doing it in the order and that he does in the video, that's key to actually make it, you know, get the velocity of the lymphatics flowing through your system. But yeah, I'd be really interested to, if you follow up, if you do that, and tell me if I'd be interested if your swelling starts to go down faster when you do that. And then another thing too, that same guy, you can look up his more in-depth videos, and I'm sure he has an in-depth video on the leg, where you can check all of the points in the leg and north of the leg too that can have a restriction, to find where that restriction is, to get that fluid system, because the stuff that the allopaths tell you is the wrong road. You can take water pills, you can do stuff, where it'll temporarily relieve it, but the thing is, it's like a circuit, it's a system. And if there's any restriction in that system anywhere, it's nutrients in, nutrients or waste out. And if that circuit's broken, then your energy will always be up and down.
Oh yeah.
Getting that circuit to flow is then you'll have consistent energy. And so, yeah, I'll take a peek to see if I can find any leg specific stuff that he does. But yeah, let me know how that goes. I'd be interested if that helps you out.
I'll definitely do that, Sean. Well,
Put
brother,
it in.
Taylor, fix and get off here. I gotta
Yeah, me too.
make some calls over at the bar, see what they got going on.
Yeah,
Make things not losing their minds, so on and so forth. Business as usual. You know how it goes.
yeah, man. Handle your biz.
But
Good. Go ahead.
I said I definitely want to come up and sit with you next Thursday for sure. Especially
Yeah,
if you're not gonna be here. We'll have some fun next Thursday for sure.
yeah, yeah, man. That's perfect. 'Cause I plan on coming up, and there's no Angela next week, so we'll do Truth Thursdays.
All right, buddy. All
All
right,
right.
Sean. Good
I'll
to see you,
see
brother.
you. You too, man. And then there was one. I'm out. Thanks, y'all, for everybody who